Hello folks, it's Sunday. Welcome to another weekly vlog. I think we're up to weekly vlog number 7 now. Didn't get any reading done at all yesterday. I'm kind of fighting some sort of bug at the moment. Feeling pretty rubbish, to be honest, and quite a bit of brain fog, so I've not been up to reading much. So I'm going to try and read at least one short story out of Garbology right now. I've just had some lunch. And yeah, I'm going to try and get through another Garbology story, and then I think I'm probably going to try and find a trashy film to watch that maybe will replace one of the bingo board picks of mine, just in case I'm not really up to reading much whilst I've got whatever this bug turns out to be. Yeah, just feeling like wiped and achy, and as I say, like brain foggy, and just not right, really not right. So yeah, so I'm just gonna chill, find a trashy movie, read some Garbology, and hopefully I'll feel a bit better later on today or tomorrow. Hey folks, so I have read another story out of Garbology. I read The Widowmaker by M.A.J, otherwise known as MJ, of course, from Reading This Life. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Nice work there, MJ. That was a really interesting little sort of riff on some Greek mythology, and quite a very interesting kind of narrator character, I have to say, and some good one-liners as well, some snappy one-liners that made me laugh out loud. Very enjoyable. So yeah, another great one. I'm going to dip back into those throughout the next week, I think. So yes, so I read that, and then that kind of like wiped me out. As I say, I'm not feeling great, so I decided I'd put on a trashy movie. So I haven't managed to finish the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics yet, and I don't know whether I will, because we're now into week 2. So I thought, to cover that spot completely on the bingo board for ninjas, I will watch the very trashy and really not very good 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. So that's what I did. I put that on. I think I've seen that maybe twice in my lifetime, certainly once when it first came out, and then again probably another 10 years later or something. So I rewatched that whilst painting, base painting the Warhammer models that I'm doing. So I've got the first ones just base painted, probably need another coat, but then I can start putting colour on them and making them look proper. So I've got that done, but it's quite hot up here. It's very hot here today. It's quite hot in the loft, so I am going to bail from here and go downstairs. Mrs. is out for a wander into the hills on her own, because I'm not up to it. I've not got much energy. So I'm going to go downstairs and put on a game, or possibly another trashy movie. Who knows? So yeah, so that is my plan now, is to go downstairs and chill out with some trashy films. Okay, I've totally found a potentially shit movie. Certainly a trashy movie, and by shit I mean great. But I think based on the trailer, this could be so bad it's great. So I'm going to give this one a go. This one looks hilariously random. So yes, that's what I'm going to watch, I think, as my trashy movie. I'm up for a bit of alien dinosaur monsters. Why not, eh? So I watched my film, my Jurassic Expedition film. Yes, that was trash. That was B-movie trash. It wasn't great in its trashiness, but it was highly entertaining in its shitness, basically. It was, kind of decent enough B-movie silliness. Although I do feel like I was missold, on the dinosaur things, based on the image, given to me on the homepage, with the kind of T-Rex type dinosaur and stuff like that. No, we had none of that. They were all quite small, and they were also mostly invisible. Budgetary issues, I'm guessing. But yes, they were kind of they kind of popped in and out of invisibility, sneaky dinosaur things. I think they blew the budget on the big worm thing that they had like towards the beginning of the film. But yes, there was some great budget production stuff in there, like the very clearly bog standard cheapest sort of staples office chairs that the pilots were sitting in whilst they were piloting their ship, because they're not going to roll all over all over the cockpit. And the very, very plastic guns, which you always expect, and the excellent stereotypical pew pew sounds from the energy weapons and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so it was highly entertaining in its slight rubbishness, but entertaining nonetheless. It kept me amused for an hour and a half or so. So I can't say fairer than that. So I don't know whether I'll be able to fit it anywhere on the bingo board for Garb August, but I'll have a look tomorrow and see if I can crowbar it in somewhere. But yes, interesting little experience. I don't mind a silly B movie every now and again. So yes, but other than that, I've done nothing else. I've just watched that and chilled out this evening. Watched a bit of the Olympics closing ceremony and such like. And hopefully I will feel better tomorrow and able to focus a little bit so that I can get some work done. We'll see. But yes, hopefully I will get back to reading tomorrow as well, if I can focus a bit better, get this brain fog cleared. So yes, so for tonight then I will say good night and I will see you in the morning. Hello folks, it's Monday today and it's time to crack on with this piece of artwork that I started on Friday. So I will get set up and get cracking on the printing side of things. I have in fact made some changes. I've redone it, what I had done on Friday, because I didn't like the watercolour when I came to it this morning. It was too blotchy. I didn't want that, so I've actually redone it, and I've redone it just with markers, which still gives me some like non-uniformity of colour, which is kind of what I want. I don't want it flat, but yeah, it's not as blotchy, and once it's hidden underneath the print stuff, it should look a lot better, and it's a little lighter as well. Ooh, okay, that's all the red done on that. Now I've just got all the black to do, which is more. At least I'm getting into the swing of things now. It's a little bit fiddly, but I do enjoy it. It's very good. This letter set that I have with all the components is really cool. So I'm going to leave that red to dry. I've cleaned off the stamps. I'm going to go and get a nice iced coffee because it's flipping hot up here today. And I think I might sit and read a garbology story while that dries properly. Should have just enough time to do that, and then crack on with finishing the black sections of it. That's the last bit I've got left to do. It was suggested to me by Mr. Troy Tradup that because I talk about food quite a bit, I ought to actually show some of the stuff that I'm eating. So here you go, and I will pop in some more footage of my culinary delights as I get a chance to film them as I eat them during the week. Hello folks, it is Tuesday today, and yes, I finished my poster this morning, so that is all done. I get that uploaded onto social media, and and then it can sit waiting to be used in some some way. At the moment it will go up on my wall, I think. It's it's been a really good one to practice the use of this this letter set that I have, all these little components that go together to make several different fonts, in fact. So yeah, it was very enjoyable, so I'm going to do some more of those, I think. Different things, just things that I want to say. They're not all going to be, protest posters or political or what have you. But I need to practice with that set, because I've not had it long and I've only used it a couple of times. That's certainly the biggest thing that I've ever done with it. And it's quite fiddly, especially when you get to the big letters. It's quite tricky getting everything straight. So it's never going to be absolutely bang on. It's handmade, but I need to get over that kind of perfection thing. I need to just learn how to use it a bit better, but not get caught up in the fact that it'll never be perfect. So that's done. So what did I read last night? I got through an entire book last night. We are now into Garb August week 2, which is category romance and or men's adventure. So I read the category romance that I'd got on my list, which was The Whims of Gods, which is part of a series, Monstrous Whims. This is book 1, I think there are only 2 out at the moment. And this is a science fantasy male-male monster romance. So yeah, I got through all of that. Yeah, it was quite enjoyable, actually. Far less smut in it than I anticipated. Not a lot of sex at all, actually, in it. The sex that was in it was okay. It was fine. It was a little kinky, although I expected more kink, because it did say trigger warning, non-human genitalia. And that is true, but it kind of also isn't. It's sort of human. It's not out of this, out of the world, really far away from human. But yeah, it's close enough. It's it's not that alien, really. But it was slightly kinky, so it can go in the kinky sex square on the bingo board. But mainly it was just quite an interesting setup, quite an interesting sort of premise and stuff in terms of the world building and that kind of thing. It's a post-apocalyptic world when sort of legendary monsters have kind of appeared largely from under the ground, and they are various different legends. I mean, Loch Ness monster is mentioned at one point, but you've got lots of different monsters from different cultures. They're titans, essentially. They're titans, and this is set in America, and follows a guy who is essentially just surviving. He's been surviving since he was a youngster. So you get a lot of travelling around America, sort of a lot of kind of references to places in America that I've never been to, but I know of, like Yosemite, sort of Colorado Springs, things like that, places like that. But it's it's quite sweet, really. So yeah, it's a really good universe. I really enjoyed the world building in it. But yeah, the smut side of it was kind of secondary, to be honest, on this. So yes, so that is what I read last night. So that's another one ticked off. What I'll read later, I'm not entirely sure yet. I've got either The Dante Conspiracy, which is a short audio book for men's adventure, and Conspiracy Theory on the bingo board, or I've got The Executioner number 9, which is Vegas Vendetta, so a bit of Mac Bolan, and that will tick off, I think, 4 bingo squares. So I might crack on with that one tonight and see if I can get through that. So yes, I'll decide later after tea what I'm going to pick up next. Hello folks, it is Wednesday today. Feeling oddly off again today. Was going to do a load of BookTube filming today, but I've got one thing done and I think I'm done. So whether I'll get a video out on Friday or not, I don't know yet, but hey, if I don't, I don't. But I did manage to read something last night, or at least listen to something last night. Didn't quite finish it because I fell asleep, so I'm going to have to skip back a little bit. But it was, I started listening to The Dante Conspiracy by James Becker, I think, which is a very short kind of men's adventure murder plot type thing, set in Italy, sort of revolving around Dante. So yeah, starts off with quite a gruesome torture scene with a poor professor being tortured for information to do with Dante that he doesn't seem to have. But yeah, quite visceral beginning, and immediately just kind of got me into it. So yeah, so far, very engaging. My falling asleep in it has absolutely no reflection on the book's kind of ability to engage. It was just that I'd started feeling unwell again, and I dozed off, had to close my eyes. So I will hopefully get back and finish that one tonight. It's only like 3.5 hours long, and I listened to about 2 hours before I fell asleep last night. So I've only got, you know, an hour and a half or so left. But yeah, that's all I got up to last night, and then kind of flaked out basically. So yeah, today I have tried to focus on some of my proofreading training, which didn't go to plan. Just like my brain fog's back again, basically. And as I say, I filmed my little Garb August week 1 wrap-up video. Yeah, I've done very little else because my brain's just a bit fried today for whatever reason. So yeah, so that's kind of all I've got to report, really. Quite boring today. So yes, I will take the dog out and then come back and see if I'm up to doing a bit of artwork or writing or something, just to kind of fill the day out a bit. I feel like I've got nothing done today, and I hate that when I feel like I've got nothing done. Hello folks, it is Thursday today, and I'm feeling significantly better from how I felt yesterday. My brain fog has cleared and I don't feel anywhere near as wiped out, which is good. So whatever this bug is, hopefully it's on its way out. So yeah, I've managed to get plenty of work done this morning, plenty of training done for my proofreading stuff, and just had a bit of lunch. And whilst I was having lunch, the postman arrived with some book mail today. I have been sent this by the lovely Debs over at Raina Read Stuff. I commented on Deb's video, wrap-up video for week 1 of Garb August, where she read this and said how much I thought it looked good, and she really enjoyed it. And so she messaged me and said, would I like it? And so I said, oh yes please. And we decided to do a book swap. So there is a book in here going to Debs, some Vonnegut going to Debs. So yeah, so I got that, and then she also put in little origami bits and a nice note and some stickers, some bookish stickers. They look a little kitty, cute little kitty. Books and dogs, yes. And another little kitty on books. So they're very cute. So thank you very much for that, Debs. That's excellent. Lovely little package. I do like a book swap. So yes, that has been my morning so far. I didn't read anything yesterday whatsoever. I was going to try and put on the audio book that I was halfway through, but then I ended up having to ring my mum last night because their mum and dad are going away, and she wanted to talk to me before they went, and then the evening was kind of eaten, really, because when I speak to my mum, it's not a short conversation. It's never a short phone call, and that's on both of us. We are, as you might imagine, talkers. So that took up most of the evening really, and then I was just completely wiped, so I didn't read anything. So I need to crack on later and, you know, get a move on with getting through my stuff for week 2 of Garb August, and some of the other stuff that I need to read in August, like my science fiction stuff. So yes, so that is the plan. But this afternoon I think I'm going to just have a little bit of an arty afternoon, maybe look through some of my old artwork, start to think about what I want to do next. I'm quite like worded out because I've done a lot of my proofreading training this morning, so I don't necessarily want to do a huge amount of writing this afternoon, but we'll see, and if I do anything of interest I will check back in with you. Hey folks, so it appears I'm having a little bit of an alien day today, because I've watched the some of the reviews that have just come out for Romulus, because a load of reviews have just dropped for that, because I do want to see that, although I think I'm not going to go to the cinema to see it because I think it's like a bit more full-on horror, this one, and I don't do well with that in the cinema. So I'm going to wait for it to drop on demand and get it on there. Doubt it'll be long, but yeah, I've been watching some reviews of that, and then I watched Andrew from It Came From The Page do his top 10 alien tie-in novels video, which is very, very good, very useful, but has also just like jammed up my wish list as well with stuff that I really want to read. And then I've been going through some old artwork this afternoon as well, and came across a print that I did ages ago that I just did I literally did like 2 copies of, because I did it for one of my mates' I think birthdays or something like that perhaps, and I kept 1 copy myself. I'll hold it up so you can see it. There we go. So it's a reduction lino cut print. So I came across that as well. And so I think I might try and do something with that. I might scan it in and see what I can do with it, because it's just sat in a drawer at the moment. I kind of want to do some stuff with some of the stuff I've got in this drawer of old artwork. So yes, a bit of an alien day today. So I'm looking forward to getting to an alien book. When we get to week 4, I have got Alien Isolation on my Garb August novelisation list. Although I might swap that out. I'm not sure. I might swap it out for a different alien book. Now I've seen Andrew's video, I'm tempted by one of the other ones. So we'll see. But yes, so that's what I've been up to this afternoon. So yeah, I think I'm just going to crack on and do a little bit more work whilst I wait for tea. It's quesadillas again tonight for tea, which means my wife's cooking, so I don't have to go downstairs and cook that. She'll sort that out, and I'll get called when it's ready, when it's on the table. So I'm going to crack on and do a little bit more work before I eat. Hello folks, I've spent the evening listening to The Dante Conspiracy by James Becker. I'm 20 minutes from finishing it, but I just thought I'd check in with you while the missus is taking the dog out for his bedtime ablutions. So yeah, I have to say, unless it completely stacks it in the last 20 minutes, which I doubt it, this has been quite a surprise, this one. I didn't expect a huge amount from it. Not that I expected it to be bad by any means, but it is a good little mystery. Mystery crime, sort of thrillery type book. But there's quite a lot of really, kind of good weaving in of history when it comes to Dante and Florence and that kind of period of history, and the Medicis and stuff like that. The popes of the time. Yeah, it's got some twists and turns. It's definitely got intrigue to it. So yeah, I'm impressed with it. Basically, it doesn't kind of break any new ground, but what it does do when it comes to the mystery and the kind of the deciphering codes, following trails, kind of race to get to the MacGuffin, before the other guys. That side of things, it's done well, and it's very entertaining. So yes, as I say, 20 minutes left, but I'm reasonably confident that I can say yes, I thought this was very good. Anyway, that's enough from me tonight. I'm going to finish this off and then potentially play a bit of a game and then go to bed. So I will speak to you tomorrow. Hello folks, it is Friday. In fact, it is Friday afternoon / evening. It's coming up for like 5:30. I've just finished the day. I've been doing some more proofreading training and such like. And so before I finish off this vlog for this week, I thought I would tell you that after I signed off last night, I decided I would read an issue of Action Comic, which was another one of my men's adventure or boys adventure picks for this week of Garb August, and also something that will fill the moral panic square on the bingo board. And yes, that was highly entertaining. It's a boys adventure comic from the 1970s, which was rather violent for a boys comic, I have to say. Lots of stuff about, like, well, something about a secret agent foiling a terrorist plot against an Arab leader, and that was quite, by modern day standards, probably highly inappropriate. And we've got some sort of war stories set in Germany in the Second World War, and boxing and football and all that kind of stuff, and Hookjaw that I did particularly like, a story of a shark that some fishermen caught, got the hook stuck through its jaw, hence its name, but it managed to get away, eating one of them, and it's obviously quite a mean mother, so it's now on the loose, and in the next issue it's obviously coming back for more chaos. So I do have the next issue, so I might read on. It's quite entertaining, that. But yes, very entertaining little look at what this particular 70s boys comic was like. Sort of little cartoon strips. So yes, enjoyed that. So that is pretty much all of my reading that I've got done this week. So I've got through a fair bit. I really need to crack on with The Executioner tonight and get that read, the Mac Bolan Vegas Vendetta tonight, and then potentially a bit of a break from the Garb August reading tomorrow. I'll probably try and crack on with, say, the Body Snatchers or Who Goes There or something tomorrow. So yes, so I'll leave it there for this week. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, do drop your thoughts in the comments below. Always lovely to hear from you. I will be back on Wednesday with some more Garb August stuff, so I do hope you'll join me for that then. But from me, for now, that's ta-ra.